The disease is terrible. High blood pressure puts him at risk. He's old, but he's not giving up. Well, no, you shouldn't, Dan. Appreciate the comments. So keep them rolling in, Facebook, Twitter. And again, I asked the question, would you rather start the high school sports season? Would you rather start the high school sports season and have it get canceled in, say, the end of September? Or would you, how about this? Because practice is supposed to start mid-August for football and volleyball and golf and cross country for the fall sports. Would you rather start practice and then have the season canceled before your first game or first competition? Because while this surge in COVID cases in Montana right now is on the rise, that's why it's called a surge, it's going to be bigger in August and the end of August. Why? School starts. Colleges start back up in mid-August. Okay? MSU, Carroll, Rocky, all these schools in Montana said, hey, we're going to start up like August 17th so they can be done before the Thanksgiving break. People are worried about Thanksgiving and kids going home and come back with the flu. What you need to be worried about is kids coming back to campus in August, not knowing if they have it or don't, and then COVID spreads like wildfire across the state of Montana because these kids are not coming from just Bighorn County, Yellowstone County, Gallup County, or Missoula County. They're coming from everywhere in the country, especially these frontier schools. We've talked about this before last month. Do you know where the majority of players in the Frontier Conference outside of Montana come from? California, Oregon, Washington, Arizona, and Idaho. Those 5 states, numbers, boom, through the roof. California's going for lockdown number 2. I mean, their governor's an absolute moron. Nancy's nephew. And wouldn't be surprised to find out our governor's somehow related to Nancy, but he's just an idiot down there in California, shutting down the state again, completely. But this is where these kids are going to come from for college. Not just the hot spots in Montana. They're coming from the hot spots in the nation. So the end of August, that's the question I want you to answer. Facebook, email, tweet, whatever. Or just ask yourself, do you want to start practice in mid-August in high school? August 13th, I think it is. August 14th for football. We'll use football as the example because that's apparently the only sport anybody cares about is, we got to have our college and high school football and the NFL. Anyway, so we're going to use football. So they start practice August 14th. Competition is scheduled to start August 27th. Would you rather have those 13 days of practice and then your season gets canceled before you even play? Or do you want your season to start, get 4 games in, 4 games in, and then have it canceled? Because either way, you're not going to finish a season. I hate to say it. I'm trying to be optimistic. I really, really want to have sports to talk about. I'd really like to not keep talking about this COVID crap. But at the end of the day, this is what's out and about. Aside from Chrissy Teigen being a complete idiot, which we won't discuss, but that's where we're at. Ask yourself that question. All right, we're going to come back. And when we do, this segment brought to you by Rucker's Furniture, by the way, our great friends over at Rucker's Furniture. But when we come back, we're going to talk other states' high school plans. Will they affect what happens in Montana? We'll talk about Idaho specifically. And that is next here on The Jason Walker Show.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Dinner's Done Right is open and ready for you to stop in and stock up for the summer. How does a Big Sky flank steak sound? Or a sage roasted pork loin? June's menu also includes a Parmesan tilapia and a variety of fantastic chicken cuisines and more. And if that's not enough, dinner's done right's Grab and Go Soup, Salad, and Nacho Bar is back as well, with one exception. The delightful staff now will make it for you. And don't forget deliveries to Bozeman and Great Falls on select days. Stop in at 1212 Cedar Street in Helena or visit dinnersdoneright.com.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show. Do you love to look at photos of Montana, from animals to landscapes and more? Are you looking for a place to get your senior pictures or family portraits done? Are you a business owner looking to upgrade the decor in your offices? Well, look no further than Mark LaRoe Photography. Mark has been shooting beautiful photos all across the Treasure State, from rodeos to portraits, and would love to work with you. Visit marklaroephotography.com to see many masterpieces of his work, then give him a call to schedule your own photo shoot. Or to purchase one of his fantastic pieces, stop by Spirit of the Big Sky Gallery on Custer in Helena. marklaroephotography.com.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Final segment brought to you by Mark LaRoe Photography. So Mark was down in Ennis over the 4th of July at the Madison County Rodeo, NRA Rodeo, and took a picture that I saw, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to get that. So I did. So behind me, and I'll have to switch camera angles, there. Hey, and there's my legs. This photo was taken by Mark on July the 3rd. That is Jennifer Lance on the horse J.D. Foxy Roan. The horse is from the Dems Ranch south of Ennis. But that is Jennifer Lance, and that was during the prayer just before the national anthem. That is a fantastic photo. If you'd like to purchase that photo, you can. Go to marklaroephotography.com, and you'll get 20% off, by the way, if you mention the Jason Walker Show. So that is a fantastic photo. I kind of keep the sash here, but it kind of takes away from the can we lower it? No, that doesn't work. Can we do there? Okay, see, there's the whole photo. And, man, that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Just got delivered today. Thank you, Mark. So check it out. All right. Where are we at? What were we going to chat about? I forgot. Oh, high school sports. North Dakota High School Activities Association today came out and said, proceed with fall sports and activities. The state guidelines that were released this week put for for reopening schools put specific planning into the hands of local officials. So North Dakota High Schools Activity Association basically said, you can proceed, but it's on the state guidelines and up to local officials. So this is up to sports. But it's a positive. It's an optimistic look for North Dakota, which I don't have their COVID numbers. And then not University of, but Idaho came out today as well, issued their thing, their guidelines, their thing. I sound like Joe Biden trying to do the Declaration of Independence. That thing. So they have they have red, yellow, and green for their different, what is it called? Limitations, athletic guidelines specific to categories. So here, I'm going to read you this, and then you tell me how fall sports can happen. Okay? Physical activity and athletic equipment. This is under Idaho high school guidelines. There should be no shared athletic equipment between students. Towels, clothing, shoes, or sport-specific equipment. Students should wear their own appropriate workout clothing, do not share clothing. And individual clothing and towels should be washed and cleaned after every workout, which they should be anyway. That's disgusting. And why would you wear your friend's jock? It's probably too big for you. All athletic equipment, including balls, should be cleaned after each use and prior to the next workout. Individual drills requiring the use of athletic equipment are permissible, but the equipment should be cleaned prior to use by the next individual. Resistance training should be emphasized as body weight, use of resistance bands. Free weight exercises require a spotter cannot be conducted while honoring physical distancing. Safety measures in all forms must be strictly enforced in the weight room. Okay. Some examples, including but not limited to. I'm going to read these and then tell me how we're going to have high school sports. This is just Idaho. A basketball player can shoot with a ball, but a team should not practice or pass a single ball among the team where multiple players touch the same ball. A football player should not participate in team drills with a single ball that will be handed off or passed to other teammates. Contact with other players is not allowed, and there should be no sharing of tackling dummies, donuts, or sleds. A volleyball player should not use a single ball that others touch or hit in any manner. This is real. This is in Idaho. How will this affect Montana? It goes on. Softball and baseball players should not share gloves, bats, or throw a single ball that will be tossed among the team. A single player may hit in cages, throw batting practice with netting as a backstop, no catcher. Prior to another athlete using the same balls, they should be collected and cleaned individually. Well, if you're not cleaning your balls, there's something wrong with you. Wrestlers may skill and drill without touching a teammate. Cheerleaders may not practice or perform partner stunts or building, such as chants, jumps, dances without contact are permissible. Okay, so you can chant. So these are the same guidelines in Montana from the MHSA. Thank you. So these are the same. Tennis players may do individual drills with volleys and serves. Wall volleys and serves. Individual drills. And runners should maintain a recommended 6 feet of distancing between individuals. How the hell are you supposed to pass somebody to win a race? How are we going to have fall sports when a basketball player, a football player, a volleyball player, tennis, softball player, whatever the sport, you can't touch the same ball? A football player should not participate in team drills with a single ball that will be handed off or passed to other teammates. So how do you practice? How in the hell do you practice throwing to your wide receiver, your tight end? I mean, contact has already been limited in practices for the last few years because everybody's freaking out about concussions. Some deservedly so. But how are you supposed to practice sports, team sports, when you can't touch the same? Volleyball players should not use a single ball that others touch or hit in any manner. How do you practice volleyball? You can't pass the basketball back and forth between teammates. How do you practice? You can't hand off the football. You can't pass it downfield. How do you practice? Wrestlers can't wrestle each other. You can skill and drill without touching a teammate. And running. Get the Montana Mile tomorrow, correct? We'll use that as an example. You're coming down the back stretch. You're in second. Runner leading in first is 7 feet in front of you. That's social distancing. Are you supposed to not try to win that race in the final 100 yards? Or final 50 or final 20? If you're 7 feet away, you're 3 yards, 9 feet away from somebody? But you can't go win a race because you can't recommend or get within the social distancing guideline? Come on. Because of that, how are you going to have a fall sports season, people? Do you know how often runners touch each other? A lot. Especially in cross country, which is a fall sport. There's a lot of elbowing and let's not forget soccer too. That's a contact sport. How are you going to have fall sports based off those guidelines? Those are in Idaho, and it's the same guidelines as Montana that came out from the MHSA. I don't get it. No idea. And that's just for practice. How do you, you practice like you play. So if you practice where you can't do a takedown in wrestling, guess what? Your ass is getting taken down and you're going to lose. You're not going to be able to catch a ball thrown by your quarterback because you can't practice. How are you going to take a handoff? You can't go this way, right? Because you can't touch the ball. So how are you going to play a game? Can't tackle each other. There's no contact. Stupid. How do you play fall sports? And you can freak out on me all you want. Mark Emmert, president of the NCAA, came out and said, if there is going to be a college sports in the fall, we need a much better handle on the pandemic. Guess what? It ain't happening. It hasn't happened yet. Now, the CDC said in March, masks don't work. CDC said not too long ago, masks don't work. But then they came out and said, oh, you should wear a mask. To which our governor mandated a mask, which is illegal. Individual private businesses can order you to wear a mask to enter their store. The governor can't. Helena Police Department came out today in a Facebook post, said, this is not enforceable. They're not going to arrest you for it. Now, an individual business can keep you from going in. So you should probably have your mask. But, All right, remember a couple of weeks ago, everybody's making a big fuss about Mike Tyson getting in gear. He's making a comeback. Well, he is. And we'll chat about it in the walk-off coming up here in a little bit. Man, how are we going to have a season? Here's a key line from that Idaho high school release. Quote, it is not likely that all students, capitalized all, will be able to return to and sustain athletic activity at the same time in all schools and regions in Idaho. There will also likely be variation in what sports and activities are allowed to be played and held, end quote. So Pocatello might be able to play sports, but Idaho Falls can't. Or those two can, but Caldwell, Napa, Boise area can't. Or Lewiston. And then there's this. You planning on going to an Illinois football game? And this is going to happen a lot. If there is a college football season, this is going to happen a lot around the country. Illinois announces home football games at Memorial this season will be limited to 20% capacity with 6-foot social distancing and reserve seating. 20% capacity. Face coverings will be acquired in public areas. Tailgating not allowed. So prepare for not tailgating if there is a college football season. 20% capacity. What does Memorial Stadium seat in Illinois? That's a good question. It's a big one, right? It's in Champaign, and it seats 60,670. What is 20% of 60,000? I'm not a math guy. Half would be 30. So 20, about, I don't know, 20,000. No, that's a third. 15,000 people? 10,000 people? Basically. So Bobcat Stadium seats, well, officially 17,777. What's 20% of that? 25,000 over Missoula. What's that? 12,000, 60,000. Thank you. Man, what would I do if I didn't have math or faithful followers? Oh, man. All right. New Mexico, by the way, already took their fall sports out until 2021. But they're going to try to play football and soccer in the February, which is, wow. Virginia, too, is preparing to not have a high school football season in 2020. Arizona, Hawaii, Kansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, New Jersey, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Washington also look as if they'll be delayed fall sports. So I don't know how it happens, folks. You can't even practice. Today is July the 16th. It is Get to Know Your Customers Day. You're not going to get to know your customers very well, though, if everybody has a mask on. It is National Corn Fritters Day. Never had a corn fritter. I had beignet from Cafe Zydeco the other day, though. Wow. It is also National Personal Chef Day today. 1883, Wimbledon. William Renshaw wins his third straight, beats his twin brother Ernest. In 1888, three-time runner-up Ernest wins his only major title by beating Herbert Lawford. 1941, Joe DiMaggio. 3 for 4, his 56th straight game. It would end on the next one. Don Mattingly in 1987 hit his fourth Grand Slam, also tied an AL record of homers in 6 straight games. He would go on to tie the Major League record of 8 straight games with a home run. 1988, Carl Lewis ran a wind-assisted 9.78 100. 1995, at the U.S. Women's Open, Annika Sorenstam of Sweden won her first of 10 LPGA majors. 2017, at Wimbledon, Roger Federer wins his record 8th Wimbledon title. Happy birthdays today. Shoeless Joe Jackson, born on this date in 1887. There is a report that Shoeless Joe played baseball in Scobie after the whole Black Sox deal. But he was born in South Carolina. Should be in the Hall of Fame, too. 1907, happy birthday, Orville Redenbacher, born in Brazil, Indiana. 1942, Margaret Smith Court, Australian tennis player, 24 Grand Slam titles. Jimmy Johnson, the coach, born on this date in 1943. Let's see, a couple other things on this date. In 1969, Apollo 11th was launched, carrying the first men to the moon. 1880, so this is kind of a sad day for the Lincolns. 1871, Tad Lincoln, the youngest son of Abraham Lincoln, died at 18. And then 11 years later, his mom, Mary Todd, died at the age of 63 in 1882. Kissing was banned in England on this date in 1439 to stop the Black Death from spreading. We should rename that, by the way. We should probably stop kissing now, too, because to stop the COVID, right? Contact tracing. And have we decided what we're going to start calling the new a new name for the day after Thanksgiving? think about it. We've got a couple of months, but we need to get that changed. And also, happy birthday today to my dad. He was born on this date some years ago. I'm not going to tell you how old he is. He's not very old, but he's not very young, but he's not very old. So happy birthday, Dad. Little one will call you later.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
All right, one note before we walk on out of here. Mike Tyson is back. Yeah, Iron Mike is back. Michael Buffer will call the shots. It'll be Tyson versus Jaws. Rumble on the reef. Tyson and a shark will square off underwater on the Discovery Channel to kick off Shark Week. The Discovery Channel had to come out in a statement that said, no sharks were harmed or bitten in the making of this episode. Tyson said in the statement, quote, I took on this challenge to overcome fears I still deal with in life. I equate this to overcoming my fear of getting back into the ring at 54 years old. I learned from this experience during Shark Week that whatever intimidates me, I am still able to step up to the challenge of overcoming anything that would prevent me from accomplishing my life's mission of reaching my highest potential in life and bringing me closer to God, end quote. You get bit by a shark, that's going to bring you a hell of a lot closer to God. Just saying. Shark Week starts August 9th this year. Remember a couple years ago when Michael Phelps swam against the great white? So it's all CG stuff. Mike's not actually going to fight a great white. But who would win? Thanks to Tricia Binford for joining us, Montana State women's basketball coach. Coming up tomorrow, Kevin Flato will join us. We're going to talk some officiating. We'll talk his illustrious athletic career and Stuff the Bus. Very big deal coming up this summer. And we'll talk to Kevin Flato tomorrow. Hope you had a great Thursday. We'll wrap up the week tomorrow. We'll see you at 4 right here on The Jason Walker Show. Be safe. Happy birthday, Dad.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen,